Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Quote of the day. If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Dr. Sadia Rafiq and under the supervision of Professor Dr. Sara Afzal. Today my topic of presentation is food hygiene. Learning outlines include the introduction of food hygiene, types of food hygiene, WHO 5 key for safer food, 4 C's of food hygiene for food handlers, sanitation of eating places and equipments, HACCP, which is hazard analysis and critical control points, and recent advances. Learning outcome. At the end of this presentation, my colleagues would be able to describe about food hygiene and its different aspects which are mentioned above. Introduction. Food is a potential source of infection and is liable to contamination by microorganisms. Food hygiene may be defined as the sanitary sciences which aims to produce food which is safe for the consumer and of good keeping quality. Food hygiene implies hygiene in the production, handling, distribution, and serving of all types of food. Food hygiene implies a safe and a potable supply of water, food products, and hygienic handling. The primary aim of food hygiene is to prevent food poisoning and other foodborne illnesses. Types of food hygiene includes milk hygiene, meat hygiene, fish, egg, fruit, and vegetable hygiene. The spoilage of the food products by the microorganisms includes these are the different food products which includes milk, fish, fruit, vegetables and eggs, and different microorganisms are involved. In milk, for example, Lactobacillus lactis, Clostridium staphylococcus and alkagenes viscolactis is involved, and the effect on the product is called soaring, produce butyric acid and ropinus. Like this, all the meat have these specific microorganisms and they lead to surface liminess, change in color of meat and pigments, and the fish also discoloration, like red or pink color of the fish. Then in fruits and vegetables, the microorganisms involved and lead to molding and the rotting of the vegetables. And in the eggs, again, these are the different microorganisms involved. First of all, starting with the milk hygiene, the sources of infection in milk hygiene includes the dairy animals themselves, then the human handlers, then the environment and premises of the area, and the milk vessels. The prevention of milk-borne diseases include the hygienic dairy, then pasteurization and sterilization. Pasteurization, it is defined as a process of preservation of milk wherever the milk is heated to such temperature and for such a period of time so as to destroy all the pathogens in it and to preserve the nutritive value of it without changing the color, smell, taste, flavor, and composition. Example of prophylactic disinfection procedure. In the pasteurization of the milk, the one method is called the Holder's method in the 63 to 66 degrees centigrade temperature, 30 minutes, and then it is cold. The milk is again colder at the temperature of 5 degrees centigrade. And the second is high temperature, short time, a method in which at 72 degrees centigrade, 50 seconds to 4 degrees centigrade. And third is ultra high temperature, which is 125 degrees for few seconds. It is a process. The fresh milk is taken. First of all, it goes to the heating section and it is heated at that temperature, and that is cooled down in the cool section, and then it is pasteurized milk come out and then it is packed. There is a killing of 90% of the bacteria, heat resistant tuberculosis bacillus, including and Q fever organisms. But it does not kill thermoduric bacteria nor bacterial spores. Then the next procedure is sterilization. This is done in the milk cookers by heating milk to 100 degrees Celsius for 20 to 30 minutes. This process not only destroys 100% pathogens but also spores. The disadvantage is that it diminishes the nutritive value. Second comes the meat hygiene. Meat is a various tissues of animal origin, and the disease includes a tapeworm infestations and bacterial infestations. So the meat inspection is very important regarding the proper inspection of veterinarian staff and the antemortem and postmortem examination. And because the good meat contains not pale color, deep purple, slimy, not shrink or cooking, it is firm and elastic with agreeable odor and marble appearance. Leading to the fish hygiene, the signs of the fresh fish are firm and stiff to touch when held flat on the head. Tail should not drop. Eyes and gills are prominent. Scales not easily detachable. Decomposition begins. Flaccid body full red and with offensive odor, and it may lead to different diseases. And that fish, which is specially packed tin fish, there should be inspection of tin before purchasing. Egg hygiene. Although the majority of freshly laid eggs are sterile inside, the shells become contaminated by fecal matter from the hen. Microorganisms, including pathogenic salmonella, can penetrate a cracked shell and enter the egg yolk, leading to spoilage. Eggs can also be pasteurized to increase the shelf life. Now, fruits and vegetable hygiene. The fruits and vegetable host many pathogens like bacteria, fungal, protozoan, which can enter the plant material during or after harvesting. Generally, proper washing and sanitization are employed to increase shelf life and product safety. Freshly harvested products are routinely washed to remove soils, pesticide residues, insects, plant rabies, and microbes. So there are WHO 5 keys for the safer food. These are to keep clean, separate raw and cook thoroughly, keep food at safe temperature, and use safe water and raw materials. So these are the 5 safety principles that are all food handlers should follow. Keep clean. Wash your hands and all surfaces that come into the contact with food. Separate raw and cooked food. Keep raw meat, poultry, and seafood separate from the other food. Cook food thoroughly. Cook food to 70 degrees centigrade to kill most microorganisms. And keep food at safe temperature. Avoid storing food between 5 and 60 degrees centigrade, especially at room temperature, because it is a temperature where there is a favorable temperature for the growth of the bacteria. And use safe water and raw material to wash fruits and vegetables. Then come the fruit preservation. Food preservation is a process of treating and handling food to stop or slow down food spoilage, loss of quality, edibility, or nutritive value, and thus allow for longer food storage. Different methods of preservation are drying, refrigerator, freezing, vacuum packing, salt, sugaring, smoking, artificial food additives, pickling, and canning. Food fortification. It is a process whereby nutrients are added to food to maintain or improve the quality of diet of a group, a community, or a population. For example, vanaspati ghee, vitamin A and D is added, then the common salt to fortification, and the wheat flour, ground flour, lysine. The choosing of the fortificant includes that should be the regular diet of the community, that is stable, non-hazardous, no change in smell, taste, and appearance, and should be cost effective. Then the food adulteration. It is a process of mixing, substitution, concealing the quality, putting up decomposed food for sale, misbranding or giving false labels, or addition of toxins. For the traders, it could be for the greed for money, and the disadvantage is you are paying more and at high risk. So food poisoning prevention is by the proper regular checking, then cleaning, then separating the raw food with the cooked food or vegetables and food, then cook properly and then chill them properly and throw them in a proper way, waste them. There are basically 4 C's for food hygiene. The food hygiene is necessary in order to produce and supply food which is safe to eat. This involves more than just being clean. A simple way to remember is the 4 C's: cleaning, cooking, chilling, and cross contamination. Cleaning includes the cleaning of kitchen, worktop, surfaces, utensils, and personal hygiene. Cooking. Hot food must be served piping hot, that is above 63 degrees centigrade. Bacteria will begin to die when the temperature rises above 60 degrees centigrade. Some foods change color when they are cooked. Leftovers should be cooled as quickly as possible within 1 to 2 hours. Separating the food into smaller containers can help. When leftovers are heated, they need to be piping hot. Leftovers should not heated more than once and should be used 1 to 2 days of cooking. The chilling, the bacteria that causes food to deteriorate and food poisoning rapidly reproduce around the temperature of 37 degrees centigrade, which is the body temperature. The temperature between 5 degrees centigrade to 63 degrees centigrade is sometimes called the danger zone because it is very favorable for the growth of the bacteria. Reducing the temperature below 5 degrees centigrade slow the production of microorganisms. Chilling in a refrigerator. Keep it at a temperature between 1 to 4 degrees centigrade. Keep the fridge door closed as much as possible. Wait for food to cool down before it is placed in the fridge. Don't overload the refrigerator. If the fridge is full, the cool air will not circulate around the food. Food should be covered to prevent cross contamination and moisture loss. Regular maintenance of the fridge is important. Clean to remove spills and food deposit wherever they occur to prevent contamination of food. And the chilling in the freezer, ensure the freezer is working at a temperature below minus 18 degrees centigrade. Don't place hot foods in the freezer. Leave the door open for extended periods. Do not overload the freezer. Cold air needs to circulate around the food. Store food with the label showing the content and the date. Food should be wrapped well to prevent it drying out. Only freezer food when it is best condition to allow the food to last longer. Keep the freezer clean by removing spills and food deposit when there can never refreeze defrosted food as this increases the growth of the bacteria. Cross contamination, the process by which bacteria transfer from one area to another. The main carrier of bacteria and causes of cross contamination are humans, rubbish, pets, and other animals, and food, raw material, or poultry. Hygiene for food handler. Education of handlers a matter of personal hygiene, food handling, utensils, dishwashing, and insect and rodent control is the best mean of promoting food hygiene. Food sanitation rests directly upon the state of personal hygiene and habits of the person working in the food industries. Personal hygiene includes the hands. The hands should be clean at all the times, scrubbed and washed with soap and water immediately after visiting a laboratory. Nails should be kept trimmed and free from dirt. Hair to provide covering to the head. Habits coughing and sneezing, the vicinity of food, licking the fingers before picking up an article of food, smoking on food premises are to be avoided. Sanitation of eating places location shall never filth or open drains, table, manipulate and other sources of nuisance. Floor to be higher than the adjoining lane, made with impervious material and easy to keep clean. Lighting and ventilation, ample natural light facilities aided by artificial lighting with good circulation of air are necessary. Storage of cooked food, separate rooms to be provided for long storage. Control of temperature is necessary. Storage of uncooked foodstuffs, perishable and non-perishable articles to be kept separately in rat-proof spaces. For storage of perishable articles, temperature control should be adopted. Disposal of refuse to be collected in covered impervious bins and disposed of twice a day. Water supply to be an independent source, adequate, continuous, and safe. Washing facilities to be provided. Cleaning of utensils and crockery to be done in hot water and followed by disinfection. Equipments. It is necessary that all equipments coming in contact with the food should be kept clean. They should be scrubbed, cleaned with detergent and water, with rinsed with potable water. The equipments are dipped in hot water at 80 degrees centigrade for at least 30 seconds or more, then drain and dry. Parts of blender, mixer should be inspected after cleaning to ensure that there is no food material remaining. Use separate cutting boards for different foods like meat and veggies. Prepare raw foods in separate area for fresh and ready to eat food. Clean and sanitize equipments, work surfaces and utensils after preparing each food. Among sanitizing agents commonly use a hot water, flowing steam or steam under pressure. Use specific containers for various food products. Make sure cloths and paper towel used for wiping spills are not used for any other purposes. HACCP, which is Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points. It is a process control system designed to identify and prevent microbial and hazards in food production. It includes steps designed to prevent problems before they occur and to correct deviation as soon as they occur. Principle 1. Conduct a hazard analysis. Identify the hazard and assess the risk associated with them at each step in the commodity system. Describe possible control measures. Hazard may be biological, chemical, or physical. Principle 2. Determine the critical control points. A critical control point is a step in the product handling process where controls will reduce or eliminate hazards. CCP should be designed to control food safety hazard that could be introduced in the processing plant environment, outside the processing plant environment, before, during, and after harvest. Principle 3. Establish critical limits. A critical limit is the maximum or a minimum value to which a physical, biological, or chemical hazard must be controlled at critical control points to prevent, eliminate, and reduce the hazard to an acceptable level. Principle 4, establish a monitoring system. Monitoring is a planned sequence of measurements or observation to ensure the product or process is in control within the critical limits. Monitoring procedure may include visual observation, sensory evaluation, chemical measurements, physical measurements, and microbiological measurements. Then establish a procedure for corrective action. Principle 5. Corrective actions are intended to ensure that no product is injurious to health. Corrective actions need to be established for each critical limit at each CCP. It includes rejecting products not meeting buying specifications, adjusting a cooler's thermostat to get the proper temperature, modifying food handling procedures, and discarding products. Principle 6. Establish procedure for verification. Monitoring results must be recorded for review by management. Record keeping is an essential part of HACCP system. This record indicates to management and government inspection proper evaluation, handling and processing of foods and ingredients. Principle 7. Verification procedure. Management must verify that HACCP plan is controlling food safety hazards that are likely to occur and that the plan is being correctly implemented. Verification procedures may include such activities as review of HACCP plans, CCP records, critical limit, and microbial sampling and analysis. These are my references, global updates. So, safe food now for a healthy tomorrow. It is a WHO, the 2nd June 2021 was a World Food Safety Day. Food safety is everyone's business. Then, according to World Health Organization, benefits of safe food for child growth and development. Globally, children under the age of 5 are at risk of malnutrition and mortality due to unsafe food. 149 million have short height for their age, 45 million have low weight for their age, and unsafe food causes 1 in 6 deaths from diarrhea, a major killer in this group. So remember to have a good food hygiene practices, appropriate storage, preparation, and services. Keep your food safe and nutritious. All children have the right to safe food, safe water, and nutritious food for healthy diets. Exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. 4 steps to food safety are to clean, separate, cook, and chill. So, according to CDC and Food Safety News, the newsletter, so food poisoning typically peaks in the summer months due to warmer temperature. To help, they have advised to separate poultry, meat, and seafood from other foods while shopping and before grilling. Chill meats, poultry, and seafood at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below until you are ready. Wash your hands before and after handling raw material, poultry, wash surfaces and utensils before and after cooking. Clean the grill surfaces, and this also to avoid the cross contamination. And again, according to World Health Organization, there was an article on the food safety, and it assessed to sufficient amount of safe and nutritious food is to key to sustaining life and promoting good health. Unsafe food containing harmful bacteria, viruses, parasite, or chemical substances can cause more than 200 different diseases, ranging from diarrhea to cancer. Around the world, an estimated 600 million, almost 1 in 10 people, fall ill after eating contaminated food each year, resulting in 4,20,000 deaths and loss of 33 million healthy life years daily. So, unsafe food creates a vicious circle of disease and malnutrition, particularly affecting infants, young children, elderly, and sick. So, in addition to contributing to food and nutrition security, a safe food supply also supports national economics, trade, and tourism, stimulating sustainable development. In Pakistan, food safety standards were first established and published in the Pakistan Pure Food Laws of 1963 and revised in 2007, Pakistan Pure Food Laws 2011. The PFL is the basis for the existing trade-related food quality and safety legislative framework. It covers 10 food items falling under 9 broad categories, which are the milk and milk products, edible oils and fat products, beverages, food grains and cereals, starchy food, spices and condiments, sweetening agents, fruits and vegetables, miscellaneous food products. Status of food laws regulations. Pakistan doesn't have an integrated legal framework but has a set of laws which deals with various aspects of food safety. These laws, despite the fact they were enacted a long time ago, have tremendous capacity to achieve at least minimum level of food safety. These laws remain very poorly enforced. So, in the food laws, there are four laws that especially these are food safety. Three of these laws directly focus issue related to food safety, while the fourth, the Pakistan Standard and Quality Control Authority Acts, is indirectly relevant to food safety. Now it's the time for the multiple choice questions. Where should raw meat be stored in the refrigerator? A at the top, B in the middle, C at the bottom below all the other food.
At the top.
At the top.
No, the correct answer is C. The raw meat, because to avoid the cross contamination, the raw meat should be placed at the bottom below all other food. Number two, what is the ideal temperature for the pathogens to flourish? 10 degrees, 37 degrees, 55 degrees, and 90 degrees.
37 degree.
Yes, the ideal
10 days.
temperature according to normal body temperature is 37 degrees. It is a suitable time for the pathogens to flourish. What is the reason of drying hand after washing them? Water don't drip everywhere because bacteria and germs spread more easily with their wet hands. Wet hands are slippery, so there's no grip on utensils. Dry food becomes soft with wet hands.
B.
D.
Yes, the it was some sort of difference. That's why I put it in the MCQ, which is B. The reason is because bacteria and germs spread more easily with wet hands, so it is necessary to dry your hands after washing them. Ideal temperature for the fridge should be 4 to 10 degrees, 1 to 4, 0 to 4, or minus 2 to 0 degrees.
1 to 4.
Yes, the ideal temperature for the fridge should be 1 to 4 degrees. Which of the following food is likely to have most bacteria? Frozen raw chicken, freshly cooked chicken, an open fizzy drink, or bottled mayonnaise?
Frozen raw chicken.
You're right.
Open fizzy.
No, she is absolutely right. Frozen raw chicken is the most because if the raw chicken it has bacteria, and if it is certain temperature, there's a control. The There's more number of bacteria in the frozen chicken because in freshly cooked chicken, all if it's a heating process, it is all open. In open freezing, there's not. In bottle mines, they have chemicals in it, so the option is frozen raw chicken. What is the correct temperature for the frozen food should be kept? 0 degrees, 15 degrees or below, minus 18 degrees or below, minus 20 degrees or below.
Minus 18 degrees.
These are actually clear-cut questions I have actually in the presentation as well. Yes, the temperature of the frozen food should be kept minus 18 degrees centigrade or lower. Which of the following jewelry acceptable for the food handlers to wear? Plain wedding band, arm ring, bracelet, ring with symbols of religious faith.
Wedding band.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Only the food handlers are allowed to wear the plain wedding band, not any other ornament. How many times you can reheat the leftovers? As many as time you can, twice, four times you should reheat only once.
D.
Yes.
D.
And leftovers should be only reheat up only once. Which of the following is true about bacteria? Bacteria multiplies and grows faster in a warm environment. Bacteria needs air to survive. Every type of bacteria can give food poisoning, or by freezing you can kill bacteria.
A.
Yes, bacteria multiplies and grows faster in the warmer environment. Correct. When washing your hand, how many seconds you should rub the lather in your hand? 5 seconds, 10, 15, or 20?
20 seconds.
Yes, 20 seconds. COVID has told us 20 seconds. This is my key, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sadia. Again, a very nice presentation. There are a few points that I want to highlight. You have most wonderful part that you have discussed is about the recent advances and how the Pakistan is focusing on safety of the food and what are the food laws and regulations in Pakistan. I think this is one of the best part of your presentation. Uh, One thing that must be mentioned here is that after 18th Amendment, health is the subject of the provinces, and it is not governed by the those laws that were initially in place as Pakistan laws and regulations. So after 18th Amendment, we know that as health become the most important part of any legislation from the provinces. So the Punjab Health Authority is been very active in the recent years, and they have formulated their own laws and regulations and implemented it. And that's why we have been uh, visiting the different regulations and how they have been implemented.
Okay, ma'am.
Second, after COVID-19, again, there were many things that were focusing on the restaurants and about the food safety, etc., and how to close them, how to open them, etc. Again, the food safety and the focus on different types of outbreaks that are related with disease that has been greatly increased over the recent years. So the most important points are that the Punjab Food Authority is one of a very active authority in Punjab that are dealing with the food laws handling, and that is why the soft drinks and the junk food has been banned in many schools, colleges, and they are not allowed to be sold to the children and students, especially in the points where the canteens and sale points are present in different institutions. The
Okay, ma'am.
second important point is about the disease outbreak. I must say that a few slides should be added in these slides about the disease outbreak, because we assume that a food becomes contaminated with microorganisms, and that can lead to an outbreak that can occur in group of people who have eaten that contaminated food. So
Okay.
we already know that there is a common vehicle exposure, and the cases developed when the people are exposed to the food in question.
Okay, ma'am. Inshallah,
And
मैं ऐड कर लेती हूँ.
we also know that we have to focus on single exposure, common vehicle outbreak, as well as the other types of outbreak that are related with food, such as explosive, that leads to sudden and rapid increase in the number of the cases of the disease in the population. And when there are the common exposure, similarly, there may be the evidence that the certain waves of food poisoning, they may occur from certain points that may be the sale point or the restaurant, and they can cause the secondary cases or the secondary type of outbreak. However, the more work has to be done on these lines. As we know, the typhoid is one of the disease that can lead to the severe systematic manifestations of the disease, and that starts with the contaminated food. Similarly, we have certain viruses. Even the vaccine has been introduced in EPI program against rotavirus. And this virus, Norwalk virus, rotavirus, they are very notorious in producing gastroenteritis and food poisoning. So the disease control and prevention is never complete without the laboratory confirmation of these different microorganisms that can contaminate food. Similarly, there are certain situations where there are the restaurants or there are certain special conditions like outbreaks, epidemics, where the food hygiene became the most important point in food safety. I'm very happy that you have already mentioned about hazard analysis and critical control points. These are very important whenever we discuss about cruise ships and passengers on aeroplanes and in special susceptible environments. The next important point that you have not mentioned is about the herd immunity. The herd immunity, again, it is one of a very important point that certain food can lead to the herd immunity by producing the resistance to the certain microorganisms. and people, their families and friends, they enjoy the herd immunity. But whenever there are the travelers, especially from other countries, they become affected from the microorganisms. Similarly, we know that the polio virus is one of the very important virus that can be spread by the food. Again, food hygiene is important, vaccination is important, and unfortunately, Pakistan is one of those countries where poliomyelitis, it is still prevalent, and we are not achieving the herd immunity till date. The second part is about MCQs. You have uh, all those MCQs. I must say that I really enjoyed them, and they were really different from the previous MCQs that have been presented. However, I have few questions. Like question number one. If you go to the question number one, please.
Okay, ma'am.
That was about storing of meat in freezer. Question number one.
Yes, ma'am.
So the meat that is being stored in refrigerator, it totally depends upon the temperature of the refrigerator. So at the bottom, when you are looking for having stored meat, there should be the maintenance of the temperature that is more important than the compartment. In question number six, if you please go to question number six, you have already mentioned about temperature. So question number one and question number six, they can be grouped together as a single question.
Okay. Otherwise, ma'am, when I read the explanation of this MCQ, they have said because you are absolutely right, the temperature is the best first thing which comes into mind. But they said at the bottom to avoid the cross contamination of the raw meat as well. That is why I have placed it separately. If you say so, I will combine it together.
Yes, you must combine it because in compartments, the most important point is maintaining the temperature.
Okay.
And we have
Okay.
seen what is the reality is that we have a visit to a certain place, and one of our colleague, member of the committee, he opened the refrigerator. There
Okay.
were pieces of meat that have fungus grown in them, and they were being frozen at the lowest compartments in order to hide them from the committee. So the practical aspects of compartments or putting something in the compartments, it is dependent on the temperature and how good that meat is,
Okay, ma'am.
rather than just putting them in the compartments.
Okay, ma'am. I will combine this MCQ.
Right. Please go to question number three.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Again, this is something a very tricky question, I must say, because there are more than one correct options, and it is more based on journal knowledge rather than scientific knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So there, I think that this question should be replaced by some more scientific question. If you
Okay.
please go to question number seven.
यस मैम
Right.
इट वाज अ
Again,
वेरी डिफरेंट को सॉर्ट ऑफ एमसीक्यू क्योंकि इसमें मुझे भी नहीं समझ आ रहा था कि कौन सा करेक्ट आंसर होगा तो दे हैव सेड कि इट्स डब्ल्यूएचओ हैव रिकमेंडेड ओनली अ प्लेन वेडिंग बैंड इज अलाउड दैट्स व्हाई आई हैड दिस एमसीक्यू
okay, that is something again. I must say that it is written with culture or societal norms rather than of scientific evidence. Because a plain wedding band can also lead to the proliferation of microorganisms that can be transferred from one place to another. So,
यस
scientifically, it is not correct. However, considering the social norms, culture, and the binding of somebody with other, yes, as we know that health is not only the physical well-being, it is also psychological, social, mental, and spiritual well-being. So considering the health holistically, perhaps the culture or the social norm that are dominating in this question rather than the scientific evidence.
ओके मैम आई विल आल्सो चेंज दिस
So that is
एमसीक्यू
why I say that I have enjoyed your questions because there is more social aspect that is related with it. As far as I think It is more emotional, bonding with the wedding band rather than the some scientific evidence that is related with the proliferation of microorganisms.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I will change it.
Okay, thank you very much. It's overall it is a wonderful presentation, and there are very important aspects of the food hygiene that have been discussed. As it is a very lengthy and good presentation that is focusing on recent advances. However, there are few points that are related with the immunity, susceptibility, herd immunity, with the Punjab health laws that must be incorporated in order to make it a very holistic presentation. Thank you
Okay,
very
ma'am.
much, Professor.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Allah.
If anybody has any question, please do ask.
Anyone?
Thank you very much. It's all from my side. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Thank you.